Hello friends and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is the second installment for the Spellbinders released this month. As you know, I am Deepa from DeeZinesByD and I have another card to share with you today. I actually have a few cards that I made for this collection, but I will be only sharing one of them. I will share the other two on my Instagram account at DeeZinesByD through my reels. If you wanted to take a look at those, I'll be posting those in the coming days. So today I want to share with you the Inspired Basics collection along with the Essential Glimmer solid shapes. So here's what comes with the Inspired Basics, or what I have to show you. This is the Create a Flutter and Flower bow, which is a really nice big bow that it makes where you can put a flower in the center or a butterfly. This one is the Create a Slimline Border. You get 4 different slimline borders that you can use to jazz up your slimline cards. And then we also have this Glimmer set, which is the Flowers for You set. As you can see, the 3 flower bouquets can be foiled all in one go and then cut out with the separate little plates. Now, sorry about that. That little leaf should actually go with the other set, the Flutter Flowers and Bows. There are 2 little leaves there that you can use to highlight your flower. And here is the Essential Glimmer Solid Circle. Now, this was released with the Essential Glimmer Solid Shapes collection. There are a bunch of different shapes. I happen to have the circle. There's an oval. I think there's a triangle. There's a square, rectangle. And you can use these to basically foil the negative piece of your foiling. And you do it in different shapes, just in a different way. Now, the first thing I'm doing is I'm actually using that one border from the Create a Slimline Border set, and this is a really nice one because it's actually one of the ones that does like an inside border instead of an edge, and I'm actually using it to make my background. So all I did was place this on my background in a diagonal fashion, run it through my die cutting machine, and then I repeated this to create an alternating pattern of solid border, solid border. Now, what I showed you there is that the Spellbinders tool-in-one is perfect for getting rid of all of the little pieces that you get from die cutting this, which does give you a lot of little pieces. And now to move on to the actual solid plate here is a negative piece of foil. Now, the problem is for me, I cut this foil in half when creating a background, and I wish I hadn't. So what I did was I taped it back together, and I made sure to tape it in the areas where I actually wasn't going to be doing the foiling. So now with the circle solid plate, I don't need to use the entire background. I can just use a portion of it. So I'm going to put it over that portion and put it through my Glimmer machine. And you can see I got a nice foil minus that little seam that was there. So that was just my mistake. If you're planning to do this, don't cut your backgrounds in half. So here's a sandwich that I used. I basically put down my plate, I put down my foil and my paper where I wanted it. Then I put a scrap piece of construction paper along with my shim and my cutting pad, and then heated it up and put it through my die cutting machine. So I wanted to show you that because that extra piece of construction paper kind of protected my shim from getting foiled, because I am putting this whole piece through the machine. And then I also used these older circles from Spellbinders to cut that out. Now moving on, I'm actually going to foil those flowers again, but this time I'm going to do it with some black foil. So the black foil is just so that it stands out a little more, and so that I can color in my image. So in this way, I'm essentially using my Glimmer plates kind of like a stamp. So I'm basically foiling the image with the black, and then the foiled image resists any Copic coloring or alcohol markers, so it's okay that I can color on top of it. So now you can see that the foiling that I got there is beautiful. I'm going to be using these Copic markers. I'm using RV23 and RV42. I have the sketch because it's actually pretty expensive to get the regular markers, but this is what I invested in, and they work perfect. They come in actually a set, and I have, I think, set A. I'm still saving up for set B. So I do have all the colors I used listed. They are pretty much nothing fancy. I'm not doing anything crazy here. I'm just doing some simple Copic coloring, and then I'm just going to use a very faint yellow just to color in the little centers of the flowers because I don't want it to stand out too much. So now all I have to do is cut out these cute little bunches of flowers. And I do want to note, you can't cut all three out at the same time. The plate is nice that it foils all three at the same time, but you can't place all three on your paper to die cut it because they kind of touch each other. So I cut two and then the final third one. And those are the beautiful bunches that you get. Now for my sentiment, I'm using the Sentiments for Everyday set, and it has all of these beautiful sentiments, and there's some of them that actually have a coordinating die to cut them out. So I picked what I wanted and I went ahead and foiled that with some Spellbinders pink foil, which is a nice light pink foil, so it's not too intense. So again, I've used the hinge method to foil that beautiful sentiment, and then I've just got to line up that coordinating die and cut that out. So I do like to keep my Sizzix sidekick handy for small little sentiments like this because it's just nice to have it right next to me to cut out right there on my craft table. Now to attach my background to this beautiful Sizzix silver glitter foil. So I have some 3M foam tape, and luckily the way that I've positioned these borders is such that it's the exact size or width of this tape. So all I have to do is stick that tape in between all of that beautiful border work, and then I just have to attach it to this glitter piece of cardstock. So what I've done is I've attached just the corner because I really want to line it up nicely, and then what I'll do is I'll remove the release paper for the rest of the strips and then put it on there nice and straight. And then once this is attached, it is absolutely beautiful, and I like how that silver glitter really stands out in the background where I've done all the die cutting with that border. Now I have to attach that solid circle that we had foiled, and I'm just going to put it in the bottom left here. And don't worry about that line. Here's where we cover it up. So I'm going to take this one bunch and I've propped it up here with some foam tape. And then the other two bunches I'll just kind of stick behind there with some Tombow Mono Dot Runner. So there's a little bit of dimension, and really that seam that I had on that solid circle, no one would ever know. So now I'll just attach that sentiment there again with some foam tape and attach this to a 5x7" side folding white card base. So I like to make bigger cards, so this one's a little bigger. And then I'm going to just be using some of these Pink Fresh Studio Ballet Slipper jewels to add a bit of interest to my background here. So this is just tying in the pink from those bunches of flowers. And because my background is white, it stands out nicely. So that is my card for you today. I hope that this idea of using the border dies in a different way to create a background appeals to you. Maybe it's inspired you to create something of your own. Go ahead and check out my blog. All of the products I've used are linked there. And please, if you're planning on buying and you've been inspired by me, go ahead and use my links if you can. They are affiliate link, so I will get a bit of a commission, and that just helps me to bring you more of these videos. So I hope that you've enjoyed my video. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Here are the rest of the cards that I created. As I mentioned, I'm going to have some reels for those over on my Instagram account at DeeZinesByD. I hope you all look into these Spellbinders products. They're great, and that you all have a great day. I'll see you again next time. Bye.